Behave.
Good evening. I want to call the June 17th, 2025 business meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to order. We will first have the Pledge of Allegiance by New Vision Youth, followed by the invocation by Pastor Ed Clevenger, Grace Christian Church. So let's all stand.
Will you bow with me, please? Our Father God, we count it all blessing to be residents of Kingsport. Help us, we pray, Lord, to be faithful in our stewardship of this city that you have entrusted to our care and our keeping. We pray, Lord, that in that faithfulness can be found peace and goodwill between neighbors, love and compassion for each other, determination and motivation to do and to be our best, humility and grace to always know that it is more blessed to give than to receive. We thank you, Lord, that you have raised up these men and women of our Board of Mayor and Aldermen to lead Kingsport. Help them, we pray, in the noble work of doing what is good and right and best for our whole community. Anoint them with wisdom and insight and vision to accomplish all that you can be pleased to bless. Inspire all of us, Lord, we pray, as citizens to do our part, to pray and to help and support and encourage and contribute and to participate. Lord, we pray that Kingsport will be known as an exemplary place to live, not only by reason of opportunity or lifestyle or natural beauty, but also because of an abundance of faith and hope and love in and among our residents. And Lord, as we gaze just across the street at Church Circle, we pray, Lord, that the raised steeples point us upward to Him from whom all blessings flow. And we pray that the circle reminds us that we are all together at our best when our lives revolve around Him whose best is poured out on us every single day to live victoriously. Lord, we pray that you'll always go before us, always go with us, and always come after us. This is our prayer, and it's in Jesus' name that we offer it. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. Thank you, Pastor Clevenger, and thank you, New Vision Youth and Miss Johnny Maceway. Mr. Recorder, please take the roll.
Mayor Montgomery.
Here.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Here.
Alderman Baker. Here. Alderman Cooper.
Here.
Alderman George.
Here.
Alderman Mays.
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Thank you. All 7 members are present. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we have 3 recognitions on the agenda tonight. We will begin with the June Keep Kingsport Beautiful Beautification Awards. Bonnie Depew and Domtar will walk us through these.
All right, to start with, I'd like to thank Bowen Landscaping for its continued support and sponsorship of the Beautification Awards. And then we'll get right into the award winners here. So this is the home of Stan Pace on Rivermont Circle. This home features stone on the front, provides loads of character. A beautiful blue hydrangea, it welcomes visitors to the front door. Other plants include lovely evergreens, shrubs, and daylilies. Fun statues are situated among the plants, along with the 2 American flags flying proudly on the house. The next award goes to James and Tammy Ferguson. The homeowners have worked hard to bring beauty to this landscape, which features various flowers, such as colorful zinnias, Irises and monkey grass, colorful flowers in pots welcome visitors to the front door. Ferns in baskets hang from the porch, which features a seating area and wind chimes. Stone pavers surround the landscaped areas, and whimsical statues are placed throughout the plantings. This next award winner is Sherry Bradley. This home features a beautiful yard with a bed of colorful flowers surrounded by landscaping stones. A Japanese maple tree and pretty petunias in pots are tastefully placed in a bed of rocks at the front of the house. 2 rocking chairs with red cushions invite visitors to come and relax on the porch, and a string of white lights accents the ceiling of the porch. This next home is Terry and Jean Moore. The homeowners have adorned their yard with purple and yellow flowers in various pots, and a pretty purple and yellow wreath greets visitors on the front door. This next winner is the home of Daryl and Alicia Dinsmore. This home features a beautifully landscaped yard with large dogwood trees in the front yard. A beautiful magnolia tree is blooming in the side yard, while the property has various evergreens, blue junipers, and rhododendron bushes. The newest addition is a dwarf spruce with barberry concords surrounding it. This next winner is Kevin and Michelle Selhorst, and the property features a well-maintained lawn with colorful planting areas surrounding the home and in front and the back. A Japanese maple tree, Colorado spruce, daylilies, lavender, milkweed, and wildflower beds add character to the yard. This property also features handmade raised beds for vegetable gardening, and the homeowners designated the backyard as a monarch butterfly habitat with several water features and bird feeders. This habitat has been certified and registered by Monarch Watch as an official Monarch Way station. And our church winner this month is the First Presbyterian Church on Church Circle. This church has a large campus with immaculately groomed lawn adorned by majestic trees, a large rhododendron bush, and beautifully fragrant rose garden. The extensive campus also includes a children's playground and a memorial site. At this time, I'd like to ask all of the award winners to stand and be recognized, please.
All right, next is the Public Relations Society of America Awards. This is going to our Communications Department, and I'd like to ask Adrian, Matthew, Maxine, and Sarah, if you please join the mayor at the podium to be recognized.
As we all know, these are the key wings that keeps us all going in the right direction. Recently, our communication group received 3 awards. It's award for quality, award for merit, and another award for merit. The first one was for Model City 101, and the judges said, the judges were impressed with their multiple methods of research, including residents' feedback gathered from the social media, public meetings, and conversation with city officials. Exceptional evaluation metrics demonstrate the long-term impact on city civic engagement. The second was award of merit, and Maxine, first was Matthew was the lead on that, and the next one is Maxine was the lead on this one. And the judges said, the use of images, simplified language, and varied layouts keeps the document engaging and easy to read. The use of visual, engaging document is a smart and effective evolution in government communication. And the third one's award of merit. Sarah was the point on this one. And what the judges said, they called this a highly effective and innovative social media tactic that successfully transformed government communications into engaging, digestible content. The video format is simple, yet effective, featuring clear visuals, strong brand identity, and engaging location. And Sarah is an engaging and recognizable spokesperson, creating audience trust. Judges also said, good job on adapting content to a format preferred by your target audience. So let's give these 3 award winners a round of applause. And we don't want the leader to go without being recognized. Behind every great group is a leader that always is smiling and trying to make us all look good. Adrian, your team is doing a lot of good things and communicating this our city story to our citizens. We thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your leadership, hard work, and communicating what we do as a BMA and city leadership. And as mayor, I'm going to present you a mayor's challenge card. Thank you. As well as a Spirit of Kingsport coin. So let's give them all a round of applause.
So, when you, within the course of 2 months, have to say goodbye to two individuals that you've worked with for the entire career, Scott as our fire chief and Dale as our police chief, it would immediately cause anybody who didn't know the story to pause for a minute. But when you look at the combined time that you both had, my goodness, approaching 80 combined years almost of service to the city of Kingsport. So Dale came into my office not too long ago, and you get to the point as a city manager, you know when someone you work with every single day is getting ready to tell you something that you really don't want to hear. And it took about 2 seconds for me to realize that Dale was coming in to tell me of his desire to go ahead and retire. And after 37 years of service to the citizens of Kingsport, one of the things that we always tell our retirees is that you've earned it. And I can dare say the definition of earned it you have. Dale began work with the city of Kingsport in 1988. He holds a degree from East Tennessee State University in criminal justice. He's been through the FBI National Academy. Prior to coming to the city of Kingsport and becoming a member of the law enforcement profession, he served 4 years with the United States Air Force. He's been a patrol officer, a field training officer, supervisor of the Vice and Narcotics Unit. He's been a watch commander. He's been in roles with SWAT as a team operator, community relations, crime prevention, drug abuse resistance education, or DARE, moved into assistant chief, deputy chief. Truly an example of an individual who has done it all within the police department. And we have prided ourselves, and we have seen in many, many departments over decades the opportunity to promote within. You were a product of that. We invested into you. You invested into us. And the end result was fantastic. One of the things that Dale told me, and it bears repeating, that when he made the decision to retire, there was a lot of factors that went into that. Some of them are here in the room tonight. And spending time with family, getting more involved with his church, numerous personal things that the career often prevents you from being able to dedicate the amount of time that you want to dedicate towards it. When I look at what Dale's been able to do within the organization, it has been remarkable. The culture that he has developed, the changes that he has made within the organization that have allowed us to prosper. And it's been during some very challenging times. On a national level, on a local level, Dale has weathered through that. His organization has weathered through that. They have really, over the last several years, become a department that we all look to. We look to them for confidence, for calmness, for structure, for advice. And through Dale's leadership, that has been shown to all of us. And the legacy he has will live long beyond his time with the city of Kingsport and his role as chief and really as a member of the force. But one thing that stood out in terms of just overall operations, we go through an accreditation process. And that accreditation process is often our report card. That tells us, through people we often have no clue who they are, from cities far away, come in and evaluate us. In the recent assessment that was done, Kingsport Police Department had 0 findings. That doesn't just happen. Let me tell you, that doesn't just happen. And this is the reason why. So I'm going to stop before I become a mess. Present you with your certificate for the 37 years that you've been here. And then, as become customary, present you with a watch so that when you look on the face of this, you'll remember the city of Kingsport.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir,
Thank you
very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Chris, Mayor, Honorable Board, men and women of the department, I'm truly humbled by tonight's recognition. When I first started thinking about what I was going to say, to culminate 37 years in a few comments is a daunting task, to say the least. But the one description of law enforcement in general that I would say, it is a daily grind with a constant and demanding for change. And through my time here, I have seen change and have been a part of change. In fact, when I first came here, obviously to date myself, 911 was coming on board. There were some addresses in the city of Kingsport that was not in the system yet, and they still utilize the 246-9111 number. So, and that was shortly after the dinosaurs had left. But nonetheless, seen the implementation of 911 to its current condition. The city and department have grown exponentially. As a department, we have doubled in size, and the city likewise. The organizational changes that Chris spoke of have been extraordinary, and I attribute a lot of that, not that these were any of my ideas, but these ideas came from the men and women of the department. They were the closest to the issue. So they would come to our office and present an issue, a solution, and we acted on it. It was wise. And obviously, as Chris spoke, community and societal changes and demands we've had to adopt and adapt to laws changing and various things. But in a recent interview, the Matthew Lane and I was speaking of, he asked me a question that I thought was an extraordinary question. He said, sum up your career in one word. And that kind of took me back, but after I pondered on it for just a few minutes, I would have to offer the word blessed. Obviously, the Lord has shown me undue and unworthy favor throughout my career, both professionally and personally. He's offered me protection, given me protection, brought me home on every night. He has also given me the quality of officers and staff that are second to none. The staff, he also gave me the wisdom to surround myself with great individuals. Wasn't my success, it was our success. 0 findings is not easy to do, but with the right people, it's very easy. He has also blessed me with training and learning opportunities, open doors that no man could close, and closed doors that no man could shut. And obviously, career advancement. And I'm very thankful for that. So in closing, I would be remiss if I didn't thank those who have affected my life to where I could stand here today. Obviously, first and foremost is my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Without him, none of this would have been possible. None of it. The second is my family. They are the world to me. And as Chris mentioned, it was one of my paramount decisions to leave what I truly, truly love. I want to invest in them. I've missed some birthdays, I've missed some holidays, and it's time to give back to them. The men and women, without question, of the greatest police department on the face of the earth. They bought into what I was selling, and they took it to the extreme. And as I said, I've been fortunate to surround myself with great individuals, and of whom you have chosen to be my successor, Chief Jason Bellamy. And he will continue the legacy and the standards that we have founded. And last, past and present members of the BMA, yourselves included, obviously. And to Chris McCart, who saw something in me 4.5, almost years ago, whether he saw something in me or he lost a bet, I'm not real sure. But either way, he took a chance on me, and I am forever grateful for that opportunity. He allowed me the freedom to make the choices that I needed to make. Some were very difficult, but none that hopefully I haven't set anything in motion that I shouldn't have. But again, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this night of recognition. And my hat is off to your all's leadership and most importantly, your friendship. God bless, and I'll see you somewhere on the ball field. Thank you very much.
Chief, before you leave your seat, Chief, I want to say thank you for what you've done coming to work every day, knowing as you came to work the risks you were taking to save the lives of others. Thank you for your leadership of the men and women that's obviously around this room and other places that you've led. You took care of them as well for their comfort and care. And now that you're going off into the sunset, so to speak, and take care of your family. So good luck and Godspeed to you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. At this point, this is part of our meeting that our crowd will be leaving. This is part of our meeting that we will allow those of you in the audience, if you want to come to speak on any item on the agenda or any related item that we have before us, this is your time to come. We ask that you come to the podium, state your name and address that you have there on the sheet. We ask that you keep your comments non-personal in nature and limited to 5 minutes. Also, if you do decide to come to the podium, do not expect this is not a answer and debate session. This is a session where it's your time to speak. Do not expect to get a response from us. We're gladly available to talk to you before the meeting, after the meeting, at any time. But this time is your time to speak, and if you want to come and do that, you can do that now. And I will tell you, timekeeper's over in the corner is our city recorder. That's where you need to keep your eyes, and he will keep the time.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Judy Johnson, and I've lived in Skyland Falls. Oh, I'm supposed to tell you where I live.
Okay,
1602 Babbling Brook.
okay.
Sorry, I've lived in Skyland Falls for the past year. I travel Stratford Road often to access Memorial Drive, and I often see people walking along Stratford. which is a road with no shoulder. Recently, there was a man and two small children walking. I assume that was the father. Last week, I saw a lady pushing a stroller. Now, they are right in the road because there is absolutely no place to get out of the road. Other times, I've noticed single individuals walking, even in the late evening. This is a very dangerous road for walking. I would like to propose that a study be conducted to consider a sidewalk along Stratford Road between Memorial Drive and Shipley Street. Perhaps some of the people I see walking are heading for the Cats bus stop, which is at the corner of Memorial and Stratford. Thank you for listening to this concern for the safety of the residents living on or near Stratford Road.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next?
My name is Tim Sanders, and I live at 1213 Bloomingdale Pike in the city, the part of Bloomingdale that's in the city. I wanted to come down and offer a few suggestions while there's some budgeting discussions going on. Everything doesn't have to be a negative. Some things can be a positive. And one of the positives I wanted to offer is a history lesson. I love learning from history. Back in before the 80s, and the city decided that it wanted to go annex out into the rural part of the county, Sullivan County used to come through and clean out the ditches. They brought a backhoe down, dump truck, every 3 to 5 years and clean them out. And this sort of fits in with this stormwater runoff remediation that the city charges every person monthly on their water bill. Part of road maintenance, part of upkeep, clean the ditches. I know in my area, nice storm, it helps clean the ditches for you. It washes it all out into the road. You end up with flat tires. Does help the tire selling business, but not the residents. So I'm sure the city has more than one backhoe and probably has more than one dump truck. It's not going to cost anything extra. No bonds are going to have to be issued, no debt to come and clean the ditches out. The other is visit the permitting process. I've heard discussions about repaving a lot of the streets. That was something that came up not long ago. But if you repave a street and you allow a contractor to come in and dig into the street to tie into a water line, sewer line, he'll fill it in. He'll fill his hole, but after about 6 weeks when it settles, it's an awful road. The biggest mess I ever seen in my life was when Obama was in office and he had all the roads repaved. They repaved all of Bloomingdale, then turned right around and come in and cut right through the center of it and put water lines and sewer lines. It was a mess until it got repaved. Again, something that's not going to cost the taxpayers money. Any contractor that's given a permit to dig in through the road, after 6, 8 weeks, I don't know how long it takes for that stuff to settle, come back and refill what you've done. Keep the roads in a smoother situation, and you don't get so many complaints about the condition of the roads. The water rates, if you raise a water rate, sewer rate, find something else to lower. It's not hard thinking, it's just thinking outside the box. Sure, it costs money to run a water company. It costs money to treat poop. But sometimes you can find another way to save something in another area. Thank you.
Anyone else?
So my name is Jeremy Pitts. I live at 112 Atlee Street. No, that is not in the city, but I am speaking on behalf of members of the Kingsport Firefighters Association tonight. And on behalf of each and every member, I want to say thank you. I know this year's been very tough with budget season. I know every year is tough for each and every member here, but I know this year has especially been challenging with everything that's been going on with all the lost revenue and all that. And I wanted to let you all know it has not been unnoticed, all the hard work and dedication that you have put in, all the time, all the phone calls, good and bad, I'm sure. But I just want to take this time to thank each and every one of you for everything that you do for the city, for everything you continue to do. And actually, you know, one of the biggest, I guess, challenges is trying to figure out how to, I guess, make everyone happy is the thing. And I know that's very challenging with budget season. And investing in employees, I think, is one of the biggest challenges that a city has to do. And we want to thank you for the investment into the employees. I know we still got a vote tonight, but I want to thank you for investing in the employees, and you're investing in the future. We just seen 37 years, and what an investment that was right there. So when you're considering the vote tonight, you're investing in the future of this great city. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Ellen Yeager. I live on Kings Road. My primary reason to come here today is because of the proposed tax increase. A lot of us are on fixed budgets. We get 3% raises a year. It's a choice between do we eat, do we pay our mortgage, do we go homeless and add to the problems that we have in Kingsport. I also, as Chief Phipps, graduated from East Tennessee State University in criminal justice and criminology. And I noticed there's something on here about Homeland Security, and it is very important that before any person is arrested, there has to be due cause or a signed warrant by a judicial judge, not just by Homeland Security's auto pen or whatever, okay? It's very important that we stick with the legalities. We gave a pledge to the allegiance. That's a pledge to the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jerome Hurtgen. I live at 3516 Celtic Court here in Kingsport. I've come to speak also on the budget proposal and particularly the tax increase. Echoing the firefighters' comments, it is important to invest in our employees. And part of what's been advertised going into the tax raise is the 8% increase for employees. That doesn't equate to 24.5% in the tax increase, though. That tax increase is 3 times that investment in employees. And yes, I understand that there's been inflation, but as was mentioned, the rest of us don't get to go to our bosses and say, we'd like to keep spending more money, give us 25% more on our salaries. So I know I've not been into the details like you all have, going through the budget to see what's in there and what needs to be spent on. But I would ask you to go take another look at it and look at what are the essential requirements, what are the important things, and what are the nice to haves. And yes, we'd like to have all of those, but it's just not really realistic. And I would also ask, before you vote on the tax increase, consider this. If that tax increase had to go to get approval of the voters, which is the way it's done in some places, would the voters vote yes for a 24.5% tax increase? And I suspect a lot of voters would not. So I would ask you to go back and take another look at the budget and what do we actually really need to have, and where can we cut some more from the budget in order to not have to have such a huge increase in taxes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
My name's James Scott Walker, and I live at 818 Maple Oaks Lane, apartment 313. I'm concerned over this tax increase because knowing Maple Oaks, they're going to take that money and put it back in more rent. I pay $1,300 a month. I'm liable for $1,300 a month rent at Maple Oaks, which is kind of extraordinary. But I'm afraid that it's the people that don't have a whole lot of money will end up having to pay the biggest part in a rent increase on the proposed tax increase on the real estate property, and also too, another thing I'm concerned with is there's like a lot of homeless people out there that need a place to lay their head on. I think a whole lot of things would change if they had a place to go to. And there's just not a lot of property out there to rent. And KHRA has a waiting list a mile long. And it would save money for the police department, for enforcing, the homeless problem. But, I mean, this place has always been a crossroads since Daniel Boone. And I'm afraid we're in the same situation. We hadn't addressed it. But thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
As he's finishing up, anyone else want to come and speak? Seeing that, I will close this part of our meeting. The comment session. The next part of our agenda is the appointment to the Airport Authority. And tonight we have one name to change, and we want to recommend Chris, City Manager, to go on the Airport Commission, Airport Authority Board. He's replacing Ken Manus, who has served us well over the many years. So if someone would give a motion to approve for Chris McCart to go on the Tri-Cities Airport Authority.
I'll make a motion. Go ahead.
I'll second Darrell's.
Okay, we have a motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan and a second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
Mayor, I'll say I think this is a good move on our end. I think our sister cities, that's a practice they already have in place. So I think it's good for our city manager to actually serve in that spot. Mr. Manus has done a tremendous job for a number of years.
Yes, he has.
So I'd like to tell him thank you publicly.
We will.
But I'm glad to see Chris being put on this.
Okay. Any other comment?
I agree with Alderman Baker's sentiments and appreciate Ken Manus serving all these years, volunteering his time at the Airport Commission, and they've been very successful, and grateful for his leadership, and glad that Chris is willing to take on stapled work. So, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion, a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. And opposed, like sign. So we have an appointment. Congratulations, sir. You will join the commission officially. Okay, Mr. City Manager.
All right, now move into the approval of minutes, first from the work session on June 2nd, 2025, and then the business meeting on June 3rd, 2025. We'd ask that you approve these minutes as submitted, please.
You have the, you've had the minutes before you, and I'm sure you've read them. Are there any changes to the minutes? And I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Sir, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? All in favor of the minutes being approved, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Minutes are approved, 7-0. The city manager.
All right, you have one public hearing on the agenda tonight. This is the public hearing in consideration of an ordinance to set the property tax rate for the fiscal 25-26 budget. I will walk through a brief presentation, Mayor, and then turn the meeting back over to you.
Okay.
So as we have been discussing for several months and more detail over the last probably 45 to 50 days regarding the need to adjust the property tax rate as part of the fiscal 26 budget, as this has been a work in progress through the Sullivan County Assessor's Office. We have initially passed the budget on first reading with the understanding of generally where the tax rate would be, but more importantly, what the revenues would need to be to support the expenses that were proposed within the budget. As we have discussed and over the last several weeks is the reality that additional tax revenue of $9.8 million would need to be generated in order to support this. Last week, we received an equalized tax rate from the Tennessee Comptroller as a result of the work that has been done by the Sullivan County Assessor's Office. That equalized tax rate was in the range that we had been planning at $1.3473. The equalized tax rate does reflect the new property assessments conducted by Sullivan County. Likewise, because a portion of the city of Kingsport is in Hawkins County, Comptroller's Office submitted a tax rate of $2.2681 for the Hawkins County portion of the city of Kingsport. As I stated last night, Hawkins County is on a 5-year reassessment cycle. Sullivan County historically has been on a 4-year assessment cycle. It's only once every 20 years that the two will actually align. And so the numbers, the assessments for Hawkins County are based upon 2021 property assessments. They have not been adjusted. As a result of the work that was done by the Sullivan County Assessor and then the needs that we identified through the revenues to meet the expenses, the proposed tax rate for the city of Kingsport Sullivan, $1.6773. New tax rate for city of Kingsport Hawkins is $248.78. This represents a nearly 25% increase on the current $1.9983 tax rate. Is how this is done for Hawkins County portion of the city. Once the reassessment is done, this board will be asked next year at this time to set a new tax rate for the city of Kingsport. Historically, the tax rates for Hawkins County City, Hawkins, and Sullivan City have not been the same. We've had different rates, which has been challenging for us to communicate and manage, but as many cities across the state are in different counties, it is unfortunately common. So as discussed earlier this month, I should say, with the presentation of the budget, how is this revenue going to be spent? Where are these dollars going to go? Well, the first thing that the new revenue does is restore lost revenue from fiscal 24. We have been very open about this over the last several years. The loss of $3.8 million in personal property tax as a result of the ratio appraisal that occurred in calendar 23 ahead of fiscal 24 had a significant impact on our budget. It required us to redirect recurring dollars that historically had been earmarked for paving back into our budget and then to direct one-time money to go in towards paving. Again, as we have said many times, recurring dollars need to go into recurring expenses. Paving is considered capital. However, we have really exhausted all the opportunities we've had at our disposal over the last couple of years to be able to put dollars back into maintaining a sustainable paving program, something that the city didn't have until 2017. So that has been the priority, really going all the way back to 24, is to restore those lost dollars. The second thing is to maintain competitive pay. We have seen a tremendous amount of wage growth, wage inflation within our region. In many areas, especially in police and fire, we have not been competitive. It has had an impact on our ability to not only recruit, but especially retain, and especially after we have made significant investments. This is a result of during the years of 24 and 25, we saw neighboring cities make significant adjustments. We were not able to do so due to the constraints we have from revenue. And then the third thing is reinvestment back into roads, intersections, bridges, and school facilities, all part of a nearly $10 million capital bond that the city will be issuing later this year. As we have gone through this budget process, we started out looking at the need of nearly $12 million due to conversations and work we collectively did. We reduced that back down to the $9 million number that you saw on the previous slide, and thus reduced the tax rate from there to 33 cents, which is what is being proposed in setting the tax rate tonight. Mayor, I will share what I have shared with the board in closing, is that this has truly been a budget that we have been working on, quite honestly, for the last couple of years. We believe that it addresses and in many ways provides a reset from where we were in fiscal '24. It allows us to restore revenue, allows us to redirect dollars back to paving, which we know is a major priority for our residents, maintains competitive pay, which we have not been, and provides funding for critical infrastructure throughout our city. Mayor, that concludes my comments.
Okay, at this point in time, I'm going to open up the public hearing. Anyone wanting to come to speak on this issue are welcome to come to the podium. Again, state your name, address, and again, do not expect to get a response from us on any topic that you may bring up. So this is your time.
My name is still Tim Sanders. I still live at 1213 Bloomingdale within the city. My first comments were more positive in nature. Not so much this time. Sullivan County's raising their tax rate. Interest rates are up. Water rates are up. Sewer rates are up. Food costs are up. My question becomes is, who are you thinking of? City rates, city taxes is going up. In my mind, there's potentially 3 of you that should recuse themselves from voting on this tax increase. If you're wondering and asking, is it me? I'll clear the air. One developer got instant equity on this reappraisal. One has a real estate spouse that the pocketbook is going to get fatter from the commissions on selling these overpriced houses. And one's going to make a second fortune selling these overpriced houses to the Yanks and the left coast liberals that can come in here and buy them sight unseen. Again, if you raise something, open your mind, think outside the box, and cut something. We have a homeless issue right now. Some citizens has already spoke about that. If you keep raising rates, things keep getting higher on the locals, you're not going to just have people with mental health issues, people with drug addiction issues. You're going to have grandmas and grandpas sitting on the side of the road holding up a sign that says, please help. Oh, Tim, don't say Kingsport's got a homeless issue. Eastman can't recruit in here if they're advertising we got homeless problems and a drug problem. Well, there's a saying here during certain times of the year, be law, buy local. Why not turn that to be law, hire local? There's plenty of people here with the education that's needed in all these factories. President Trump is trying to drive more industry here. These kids going off to college every year from Kingsport, they can't come back because they won't be hired. Just as an example, if Alderman Baker would recant his education, I believe it's something about city management, city policy was in some kind of election brochure. And I believe the city manager has sort of the same education. Look, we got 2 people within this city that have the same education. How many more would they be that could be here? During the prior election cycle, many things was talked about. Paving was one, homeless was one. Unfortunately, a lot of people never got to mention what would happen if you thought outside the box And when the citizen reaches age 70, you freeze their property taxes. 65 for veterans. Every year after that, you lower them 10%. So by the time the citizen reaches 80, 75 for a veteran, they don't pay property taxes. They can actually say, I own my home. If you think you own it right now, don't pay your property taxes for 3 years and see who tells you that you own it. I mean, it's good for realtors. They can always sell these overpriced houses at courthouse auctions for taxes. But think outside the box. If you're going to raise something, cut something. And it's not hard to do. Again, my question is, who are you thinking about when you raise these taxes? Are you thinking about the little widow woman, the little widow man? That spouse has passed away and they've lost half their income. And now they're going to have to pay more in taxes just to stay in their home. There was a lady got up earlier and spoke about that. She's worried about paying her taxes or being homeless. I guess the guy's showing the red light, but we could keep on going. Before you vote yes, who are you thinking about? That's my comments to you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, sir. Anyone else? I'll declare this public hearing closed. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance providing for and fixing the tax rate on all real, personal, and mixed property within the city of Kingsport, Sullivan County, and the city of Kingsport, Hawkins County, which is taxable on the basis of assessments made by the county property assessors and the Division of Property Assessments of the state of Tennessee for the year 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
Chris, is there any discussion on the reassessments being lined up together? Hawkins County be on the same thing we are? And
You know, a couple of years ago, Jason Mumpower, comptroller for the state of Tennessee, presented some legislation to try to get to a 2 or 3 year cycle to where you'd have greater alignment. It was discussed, but never actually made it onto the floor to be voted on. Since then, some counties across the state have begun voluntarily making some adjustments. I have not heard if Hawkins County is considering making any kind of adjustment, but it, you know, as I stated in my remarks, in my 28 years, this has been very common and very rare that we've had, like we did in 21, the opportunity where that lines up. It's very rare that it happens.
yeah, all right, thanks.
I know,
Go
Mayor
ahead, sir.
Steer. Yeah, I know we talked about this quite a bit last night. And having thought about it, I think sometime between now and the next fiscal year, I would like for us to, for this board and to learn more about what can we do, what options do we have in terms of the Hawkins County, Sullivan County reappraisal. You know, I won't say, shouldn't say misalignment, but the timing of both are separate, even though it works for their own respective counties. But in the city, it really makes it hard to understand and even explain, I think, the tax rate and how the tax rate is set, even though we get that from the comptroller's office. And the formula for doing that is in the comptroller's letter. But also in that letter, I think they alluded to there are possible other options, and I think we need to explore those just for that keeping that equal, as Alderman Baker was talking about.
The tax assessment's paid for by the county and isn't, and I know Hawkins County is about 54,000, and Sullivan County is one of the larger counties, about 160 now, 166,000 people. So the likelihood that Hawkins County would be able to afford to do the tax assessment to accommodate just us would be hard, but I think that's, I respect Hawkins County, and it would be wonderful for us if they aligned, but, I think we need to first see if Sullivan County's gonna go to a two-year. I can't foresee Hawkins County with their size ever going to something like that.
You may be right, but still would like for us to at least discuss the options. If there aren't any, that so be it. But I think we need to explore that.
I agree with that, Alderman Mays. I think, I tried to explain today, a citizen in Hawkins County that lives in Kingsport, felt like I was spinning in a circle. So, I'm in agreement with you.
And I'd like to just make a comment. It's kind of an overarching comment about some of the things we've heard tonight. We start this budget, Chris starts it, bringing it before us in May. We've met, I don't know how many times in May, 4 or 5, 6 times, one-on-one with Chris, and all of our budget meetings are open to the public. And that's where we really discuss everything, and you really see the numbers. By the time it gets to this point, we have heard it, over and over, and we've vetted it, we've talked about it, so if you, next year, if you want to really make a difference and get your opinion heard, start coming to the work sessions that we have on the Monday before our business meeting on Tuesday. That's where you hear all of our discussions. That's where you hear, their presentations. That's where you get a lot of information. When it comes to this point, it looks like we're, not really discussing much, but we have discussed it for weeks and weeks. We've really worked on this for 2 months, 3 months, and Chris, like he says, worked on it before that. So just, like I said, think about coming to our work sessions. That's where you get a lot of the information. You hear us to talk about everything. It's very open, very kind of throwing everything out on the table, just discussing things. So those are if you're really interested in kind of the mechanics or the undergrowth of what we're doing, those are the sessions or the things you need to come to. That's where on Monday, we talk about it, and then on Tuesday, we sit in a formal meeting and vote on it. So, like I said, sometimes it looks like we're just not paying attention or not voting. We're voting without getting much thought into it, but that's not the case. The case is that we've really, really, had a lot of discussion and a lot of sleepless nights thinking about some of these issues. It's when we make these issues, we're also making them for ourselves, because we all live in the city, making it for my daughter that lives in the city, for our neighbors, for the people we go to church with. So we're making these decisions for our families and for ourselves too. So it's not something that we take lightly, or that we don't think about, or we don't stress over, that we don't discuss, that we don't question. So, it's, like I said, just know that we really put a lot of thought and prayer and into these decisions. So if you come on these nights and hear us talk, see us make very formal votes, that's not the case. It's
I think we should be reminded that we did start at 42 cents, and while it might not be consoling to everyone, we did find 9 cents of reduction, so let's keep that in mind as well.
I'll just make a comment on that too. I think in the public comments, paving and pay was mentioned. So 15 cents of this goes to paving, 14 cents goes to pay to our employees. The other 4 cents is operational. And I mentioned at the last meeting, but I think that's important to know.
Okay, any other comments? Hearing
Yeah,
none.
I just want to add on top of the comments tonight, and Chris, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but back in February, your proposed budget was, do you remember the dollar amount that the first proposed budget in February that we talked about? Was it 19 million?
In new revenue?
Yeah.
It was probably just short of that. It's probably around 15
15 million? And so we have, over those weeks, we have reduced it down to where we are to basically, as Vice Mayor mentioned, paving and employee pay and the bennies that go with that. So I certainly respect the comments and I respect all the emails we've gotten, and just comments as we run into citizens about our daily lives. And I agree with Alderman Cooper. It would be good if we could start that. Many folks don't have the time or the hours to spend as we do, but everything we do is online and posted online. And so if you can't attend the meetings, you can certainly look at the website and go from there. But very hard decision, and not taken easily, but we have made several $1 million reduction in the proposed budget.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the ordinance to set the property tax rate, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay?
Nay.
And any abstentions? Okay, the ordinance passes 6-1. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal '25. This has to do with the present budget that we're operating on. It's very customary this time of year for us to bring to you budget ordinance we will refer to as a cleanup ordinance, closing out projects, setting up projects, redistributing dollars. You can see within the attachment, the summary that provides a very good breakdown of the 8 different adjustments that are made as part of this budget ordinance. We'd ask that you approve this ordinance for fiscal '25 on first reading, please. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30th, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion?
Chris, I've got a question. The donations for the Bays Mountain Park Otter Habitat, did that all come from the Park Commission? Was that any private donations, or did it come through the Park Commission as private donations?
It's my understanding that's multiple donations that have come in through to the Park Association. So private donations is what that makes up. I'm looking
It is great.
to Michael back there who's nodding his head, so yes. Bays Mountain Park Association has been very good in working to get many private donations to support many of the capital endeavors that the park has, also using those donations as leverage towards grants we've been able to receive. So much appreciated.
Tremendous partnership, yeah.
Any other questions, discussion? So, okay, all in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ordinance passes 7-0. The city manager.
Now move into business matters requiring final adoption. First item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various, get my mouse to work here. Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various funds and fiscal, hang on, we got computer problems, Mayor.
Can you take a break?
No, there we go. I'm on it now. All right. Next item, consideration, hang on.
Reboot.
All right. I am good to go now. My apologies. All right, next item. These are matters requiring final adoption. First item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various funds in fiscal '25, much like the one I mentioned a minute ago. On first reading, this is on second reading, making various adjustments. Summary is provided within the action form that provides detail on that.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30th, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Okay. Mr. Recorder, please call roll for the vote.
Alderman Baker. Aye. Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor McKinley.
Aye. The ordinance passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to adopt the fiscal 25-26 general fund budget. We described most of this through many meetings in the month of May. First meeting in June where we had the first reading and public hearing on this, as well as in the discussion regarding the tax rate tonight. We'd ask that you approve this ordinance on second and final reading. Happy to answer any questions, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, adopting a final budget and appropriating funds for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Recorder, please take the roll.
Alderman Baker,
No.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman George,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Ordinance passes 6-1. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of ordinance to adopt the fiscal 25-26 water budget. This also was presented to you during your budget meetings in May and on first reading earlier this month as part of the public hearing. We'd ask that you approve this ordinance on second reading.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, adopting a final water budget and appropriating funds for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Mr. Recorder, please take the roll vote, please.
Alderman Baker. Aye. Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman George,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 7-0. The City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to adopt the fiscal 25-26 sewer budget. This also was discussed in our budget meetings in May. It was part of a public hearing during our first meeting in June. It's coming to you today for approval on second and final reading.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, adopting a final sewer budget and appropriating funds for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion? Mr. Recorder, please take the roll vote, please.
Alderman Baker. Aye. Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman George,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Ordinance passes 7-0. The City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to adopt the fiscal 25-26 Metropolitan Planning Project Grant Fund budget. These are federal dollars that come into the City of Kingsport through Tennessee Department of Transportation for regional transportation planning. See the amount there in the executive summary. We'd ask that you approve this ordinance on second reading.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
In order to appropriate Metropolitan Transportation Planning Grant Project funds and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Mr. Recorder, please take the roll vote.
Alderman Baker. Aye. Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman George,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to adopt fiscal 25-26 Community Development Block Grant Fund budget. See the amount listed within the executive summary of a little over $450,000. We'll discuss this actually more in a separate item later. We ask that you approve this ordinance on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to appropriate U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Community Development Block Grant funds for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion?
Mayor, I will just say that a lot of good programs are funded with these funds. And I know one of a big need is housing renovations. And I know there's discussions of having these funds go away in the federal budget. I hope that doesn't happen. I sat on this committee, and there are other funds that are brought to bear that are combined to be able to do a bigger renovation for folks that need it. So it's a good program the city has.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, Mr. Recorder, please take the roll vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Ordinance passes 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to adopt the fiscal 25-26 school public law 93-380 grant project fund budget. This is part of the Kingsport City Schools fiscal 26 budget. We'd ask that you approve this item on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to establish PL 93-380 grant project funds for the PL 93-380 grant to appropriate such funds and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Mr. Recorder, please take the roll vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to adopt fiscal 25-26 school special project grant fund budget. We ask that you approve this item on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to establish Special School Grant Project Fund 145 for Special School Projects Grant to appropriate such funds and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Okay, you've heard the reading of the ordinance. Have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Mr. Recorder, please take the roll vote.
Alderman Baker. Aye. Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 7-0. We're going to take a short recess. We'll reconvene in a few minutes.
added on things.
Okay, if everyone would take their seat, we'll get back into session.
Sell it at that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
You go to Tennessee and you're in.
No. Have to
I agree with that.
Don't think about us little widows over here.
Alderman Cooper, she didn't go home, she go home?
No,
She's talking to the lady.
she's on her way back, right there. She's coming. You can go ahead and call us in.
Okay. On calls back into session. Ms. City Manager.
All right, now moving into other business. First item is consideration to amend the fee resolution for fiscal 26 fees and charges provided in the city code. Annually, with the approval of the budget for the next fiscal year, we will approve the fee resolution outlining the various fees that support this budget. You see those in bold within the executive summary that have been adjusted. Alderman Baker asked me the other day, from looking at this, how much additional revenue would this generate on the general fund side? Excluding utilities, which are obviously enterprise, it's roughly 50,000 as a conservative estimate of what that would be. Obviously, the utilities piece is separate and supports the budget, and that was kind of described as we went through the utility presentation earlier this month. You'll see the fees listed as they are now, as well as the changes, and then the justification. All of that is provided. Mayor, we'd ask that you approve the updated fee resolution for fiscal 26. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution setting the rates, fees, and charges as provided by the City of Kingsport Code of Ordinances.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? So all in favor of the fee resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary to accept federal and state planning funds from the Virginia Department of Transportation on behalf of the Kingsport MTPO. Our MPO does regional transportation planning, which is not bound by the city limits of Kingsport. In fact, we extend into Scott County, Virginia. Funds are provided annually through VDOT via Federal Highway to provide funding. There's a 10% match, $2,800, part of your fiscal 26 budget. Total amount of a little over $28,000 that is available for various studies and staff time. We ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to execute this agreement.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a letter of authorization between the City of Kingsport and the Virginia Department of Transportation to receive Federal Highway Administration planning funds for use by the Kingsport Area Metropolitan Transportation Planning Organization for the fiscal year 2026, authorizing the mayor to execute the same and authorizing the mayor to execute any other documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the letter of authorization.
You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion?
Mayor, just to tag on what Chris said, this is called the Kingsport MTPO, but there are representatives from Southwest Virginia that serve on that board. So it's not really a Kingsport MTPO. It's equally represented.
Any other comment? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign all documents necessary to apply and receive a SAFER grant from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. As we discussed last night, this is a grant that the Kingsport Fire Department is seeking. This is a highly competitive grant, but should we be awarded, it would provide funding over a 3-year period to support 5 new full-time firefighter positions. One of the things that I have talked with Chief DeBerry about since he has come on board is to look at all aspects of our operations, determine where appropriate adjustments need to be made, where are there areas that we could operate more efficiently. This is an opportunity for us to address several areas within our operations. You see the breakdown that is there, and as outlines the funding that comes in through the grant, our obligation, and then how after the third year, that is 100% city funding. Obviously, it is our goal that through the various adjustments that Chief DeBerry is looking at, that we'll be able to fully cover this cost once we see the end of this grant. And it'll take multiple areas to make that happen. If not, then this is something that we would have to look to bring the individuals hired in through a natural attrition that would be taking place over the next several years within the fire department. Although I will say I'm very hopeful and know that Chief and his team are putting a tremendous amount of work into the fire department. With that, Mayor, we'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to submit a grant application for the SAFER grant.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to apply for and receive a staffing for adequate fire and emergency response grant from the United States Department of Homeland Security for the Kingsport Fire Department.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the reimbursement of materials agreement funds to Landstar LLC, also known as Landstar Development, related to Riverbend Townhomes. This is a materials agreement that has gone through the process. The material has been put in the ground. It's now our responsibility to provide a reimbursement to the developer. You see that listed there. $44,402.14 makes available 45 new lots within the Riverbend development, which is located just off Fort Henry Drive. We'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing this reimbursement. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the reimbursement of materials agreement funds to Landstar LLC for Riverbend Townhomes Development Phase 1.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion?
I will abstain from this vote.
Okay. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. And we have one abstention, so the motion carries 6-0-1. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign all documents necessary to enter into a materials agreement with Landstar LLC related to the Riverbend Townhomes, the Arbor Phase 2 development. This is coming to you as an application because it exceeds the 50,000 threshold to which the city manager's office can approve these. This will be for an amount of $74,697.83 and will aid in the development of 47 new lots. So this is the first step in this process through the application. It will then come back for reimbursement once the materials are in the ground. Mayor would ask that you approve the resolution, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a materials agreement with Landstar LLC for the Riverbend Townhomes Phase 2 development and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion?
I'll also abstain from this.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Chris, on these material agreements, for water and sewer lines, they're put into city specifications, city codes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I will add that this is a program that we've had in place for some time. We talk about, I think it's appropriate, budget process. This allows us to aid in development, aid in the expansion of our tax base, which brings in additional revenue. It's a great program. It's been in place for, my goodness, almost 2 decades now. So continues to serve us very well. It's one we also see competing cities have at their disposal as well. So it allows us to remain competitive for new residential development.
Okay. Any other comment? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. And we have one abstention, so the motion passes, resolution passes 6-0-1. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to execute the CDBG subrecipient agreements. As you see listed in here, the first, or the several items before you get to the last two are part of the programming dollars that are made available. So that's $68,682.75 go to support a number of programs that are managed by the agencies you see listed here. As you get down to the last part of that, you see the $90,000 for Holston Habitat and the $40,000 for First Tennessee Area on Aging and Disability. As Alderman Baker mentioned earlier, these are dollars that go in towards home repair, home rehab, or the new construction of homes, as would be the case through Habitat. All great programs, all provide very critical funding for programs that these agencies, all of which are here in Kingsport, provide a service to our citizens. We are greatly appreciative of the work that they do and the funding that we have available. Obviously, these are dollars, as we have discussed over the last 2 months, that we are watching very closely through this and through the work that we did earlier as part of the fiscal 26 budget. We have funding for this year, but will be one of the items we'll continue to watch very closely. With that, Mayor, we'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing these subrecipient agreements.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute agreements with various agencies and organizations for community development block grant funding in fiscal year 2025-2026.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
I just want to mention, I think we've done these maybe every year since I've been on the board, so, you know, I hate that the people who were talking about homelessness earlier couldn't stay, but it needs to be pointed out that, you know, this is the way that the city gives. We don't just hand cash over to these organizations and say, here you go, good luck. So through these grants, I mean, you can see this is $68,000. I remember a few years ago, we had a $200,000 grant that we were able to give out. So we give out money to the organizations that help homeless or near homeless through these type of programs and grants, and we have consistently done that since I've been on this board. And so, you know, and I also take this time to just say, you know, a week ago, I got a text message that every shelter in Kingsport had available rooms. So, you know, it's not that we don't have facilities that we need, and we are donating to those facilities through this. So there's rooms available if people want to go there and get the help, and there's money out there that we are getting through grants and that others are getting. So just, you know, it's there.
Thank you.
I'll add it's through a competitive funding process too. It's advertised, organizations can apply for it, so this is not like earmarked out of the budget for organizations. They apply, and there's a citizen review panel that goes through and makes the awards.
And then you're also held accountable. I mean, if you get the money, then you have to, you know, show exactly that you're doing exactly with it what you applied, you know, said you were going to do with it. So
Yeah.
there's accountability also.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, now move into the consent agenda. First, we have 6 items on here. I'll read through all of 6. If you'd like one pulled for additional clarification or discussion, please let me know. First item is consideration of resolution accepting a grant contract extension for the 2024 Emergency Solutions Grant. Second item is consideration of resolution authorizing a license agreement with the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation for access to an air monitoring station. Third is consideration of resolution renewing an agreement with Core Physical Therapy as a service provider for the Employee Physical Wellness Program. Fourth item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an amendment to the contract between the City of Kingsport and Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. Fifth item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to execute execute an agreement renewing benchmark testing subscriptions with Instructor, Inc. and all other necessary documents, and to authorize the purchase of the subscriptions. Sixth item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement renewing Kingsport City Schools Canvas software platform with Instructor, Inc. and all other necessary documents, and authorizing the purchase of Canvas for Kingsport City Schools. Those are the 6 items part of the consent agenda. We'd ask that you approve these items as submitted.
Thank you. I have a motion for approval for the consent agenda items.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept all items on the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, sir. Second.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor and second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion? Excuse me. Mr. Recorder, please call the roll.
Alderman Baker,
Aye to all items.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye to all.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye to all.
Alderman George,
Aye to all.
Alderman Mays,
Aye to all items.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye to all.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye to all. The consent agenda items, all 6 are approved, 7-0. The city manager.
All right, we move into communications. Again, Chief Phipps, congratulations, well-deserved, and look forward to continuing to celebrate you over the next week and a half before your last day. We'll expect that to be a full day, by the way. But again, just appreciate everything that Dale has done for the city of Kingsport, the department. As I mentioned earlier, definitely a chief that has left a lasting legacy on this department. Before long, Chief Bellamy will be coming on board. Another product of the organization, as Chief Phipps stated in his remarks, definitely someone that is going to be able to pick up the ball and keep running with it. So congratulations to him. Appreciate the comments made by the board last night at our work session in regards to Jason. Tonight, we completed the items necessary to approve the fiscal 26 budget. As I typically do, I want to take the opportunity to pretty much thank that entire back row back there for the work that they did. We have spent more time on this budget than any other budget that I've been part of. I've been in city manager's office since 2008. Been actively involved with the budget process since probably 2014, 2015, and then obviously 2019 forward as city manager. This one is proven to have a tremendous amount of challenges, as we've stated to you all really over the last 2 years. But the work done by the staff, continuously looking at so many different options. I think I conveyed to you all that prior to coming in for first reading, we'd probably worked through 14 different options on this budget. And when you're going into that much detail and looking at this, you're essentially creating a budget 14 different times to try to find that fit that allows us to address the areas in the budget that we have discussed so much about, but also at the same time to ensure that we're being good stewards of the taxpayer dollars. And that has been an item that has been on the forefront of everything that we have discussed throughout this. As I have talked with other city managers across the state, it has definitely been a challenge for everybody. We are in a very crowded boat right now, from Memphis to Mountain City, and they are all dealing with similar budget struggles, looking at having to make significant adjustments, in some cases much more than they ever anticipated. So I appreciate the time that you have given us this fiscal year. I told you back in July that this would be a busy year, and it has been. You all have given us probably more time over the course of a fiscal year than I can remember in recent memory of a board. You're volunteers. Despite what many may say, you are volunteers in this job, and you spend a lot of time with us when I know you could be at your job, with your family, out of town, various things, and that does not go unnoticed and is greatly respected. Next week is my 6-year anniversary as the city manager for the city of Kingsport. It's been great. I greatly appreciate your all's support, your trust and confidence in me, and thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Mays.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, first, congratulate Chris on his 6-year anniversary. And, and I agree, you have a wonderful city staff and, in the back row, and also our city employees, out doing the work every single day. Appreciate what they do. Want to congratulate Chief Epps. Appreciate your comments tonight, and, thank you for what you've done for our city and, the police department especially. So, I was really proud to see all the men and women that were here to honor your presentation tonight, so congratulations.
Cooper.
Before we meet again as a board, we're going to celebrate July 4th. So we'll have the Red, White, and Boom, and also the parade on July 4th. So everyone get out and celebrate our country's birthday. You can go to Lamplight for the patriotic program that's always very inspiring. Also, talking about our downtown, we've there's been 16 downtown improvement grants applications so far, and they've covered the whole footprint of our downtown. The applications do. So the grants awardees will be announced in early July. So the people that have applied for the grants, hopefully, good luck to all of them. Also, if you've noticed, been in our downtown, there's a lot of murals that are being painted there downtown. I drove around just today with my daughter to show her some of the murals that were downtown. Joseph May is the one that's producing all these artworks. So go and I think there's the latest one is on Carriage House, and they just celebrated their 50th year last week. Also, last night I want to thank Colette. She arranged for my grandson to go up to Bays Mountain and pet the fox, Jamie, the three-legged fox. And so we were up there at 6:30, and they got to go in the board got to go in the cage or the enclosure with the fox and pet. And I even let Sammy, my 3-year-old granddaughter, go in there for about 30 seconds before I made her come out because I wasn't sure how she was going to react. The fox, I mean, not also, just the human interest story. We have a couple that moved in next door to us, a young couple. They both grew up in Kingsport, and they moved away, and they've been back in Kingsport for probably 5 or 6 months. They just had a baby on Father's Day and named the little boy Bays after Bays Mountain. So I thought that was really neat that they chose a landmark in Kingsport to name their son after. So and that's all.
Thank you. Alderman George.
Well, Bays Mountain is looking at doing several programs to work with kids to be able to go in behind and actually experience animals like Jamie, Jamie the fox that was initially raised as a pet. So he had a lot of interaction like a puppy dog. And so he kind of misses that attention. And so they're really looking at being able to open this program up to expose more children to the animals that we have in our wildlife. And of course, we're going to be doing so many other great things at the park, but it is a cool experience. I also got to pet Jamie the fox, and I was really, really excited too, probably just as much as Ford. And there'll probably be opportunities to hold snakes and do other things too, but that was really, really good, cool. So yeah, we'll see which ones we do, right? And Chief, thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you've done for Kingsport. It has been noticed. We appreciate you. You are always invited back here to sit through our meetings again because I know they've meant a lot to you. And so I felt very safe earlier today. I don't know about the rest of Kingsport, but truly thank you for everything you did for the city. And if you want to make number 7, you're going to have to not have all your top people keep retiring.
I'll tell you what.
I don't know what that says about you.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's got to be me. It's not them.
Well, I mean, if they hadn't been here so long, it'd really look bad.
Yeah, I know. I was looking. I was starting high school when Dale was first day on the job. So,
He doesn't have to say this.
Appreciate your reminder.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna get a few more jabs in before next week's up.
Yeah, I was way past high school by then, so, but, it really, and it was a really hard budget. I know we are taking seriously moving forward and continuing to see what cuts can be done, and I really appreciate the entire staff. I appreciate you, because I know you have seven of us up here that all have different opinions and all have different priorities in terms of, we all want what's best for Kingsport, but we all see it through different viewpoints. And we all were so gracious with giving you all of our opinions and sharing what all we thought. But I appreciate you balancing it out, and I hope that we will continue to look, as I seriously think there are still some things that I would really like to look at in the long run. So next year, that will be my last May on budget, that I don't want to give up my life doing this. I would like a lot of these decisions to already be in place prior to that, so we will be in a different place. And I really do, though, appreciate all you gave, because I know how much time we had, and we are, as you said, we're just volunteers, and it was your entire life. And all your staff had to spend a lot of time with you. And I know you ran a lot of numbers, so I do truly appreciate the job you did on this. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you.
And the new
Alderman-
library was really, really cool. Sorry. You didn't get to go to the ribbon cutting. That was, tell people go. It's cool in the ball.
Alderman Baker.
Chris, first, congratulations on 6 years. We're not going to meet again. I always appreciate you keeping us up to date. And Chris and I have talked, when you lead an organization, you're never really off, even when you're on vacation. So I appreciate the job you do. Chief Phipps, thank you for an exemplary career. When I was at the city, I was privileged to work with Dale and his department on grants, and I always appreciate the way you carried your badge. So enjoy the grandkids. Yeah, very much so.
Is that it?
That's it.
Alderman Phillips.
I can go on if you want me to. I'll stop there.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Just a few things quickly. I think hopefully you've been seeing on social media, and just if you're driving around town, since the last time we met, I've seen 4 or 5 signs up around town indicating new restaurants or businesses opening in town, and that's whether that's downtown or on Stone Drive. There's signs up about a dilapidated building that a local owner, which is always good, has purchased and is investing in fixing up, that desperately needed it, actually saved it from being torn down. So a lot of investment going on, and I think we've seen the positives already of the work on Main Street, because we're already seeing the dollars, private dollars, go into the investment in Main Street. People who are excited about what it looks like, and just about investing in businesses and living there. So we got that. Then I also want to reiterate what Betsy said, because I was told to, about Kingsport's Red, White, and Boom. So on July 5th, it's Night Ranger. So if you're an 80s rock fan, and the good thing is where our celebration is on July 5th, which I definitely, Kingsport's July Independence Day celebration is definitely one of the largest east of Knoxville. I mean, it's an incredible event. The fireworks are huge, and so, and the awesome thing about it being on July 5th is you can spend the 4th with your family and then come to our event on the 5th. And so, and if you love fireworks like me, you can shoot them on the 3rd, go see them on the 4th and the 5th, so you get triple dose of them there. And then I see that, speaking of fireworks, that Chief Phipps strategically retired right before July 4th, when I'm assuming the police department gets the most calls that they receive the entire year in one day. So Chief Bellamy will really be thanking you for that. But I do want to say thanks to Chief Phipps. He was, I was 7 years old when he started here at the city. So, no, I have rarely had to call on Chief Phipps for anything, but if I ever have, it's always been very helpful. And even if I have any questions, or if anything's ever gone wrong at the apartments or somewhere else, him and his police force have been right on top of it and have been great. And so you will be missed. come around a little more than David. Don't grow the same type of beard though, okay? But I'm looking forward to working with Chief Bellamy. I think you have really set up a wonderful, wonderful system over there at the police department where you have, really some great guys under you that can slide right in and never miss a beat. So that's awesome. So we appreciate that. Other than that, that's all I got.
I have a question. You didn't mention Sister Christian.
Well, yes, they will. They will be singing Sister Christian, I hope.
Okay.
That's their big one. So hopefully she'll be sliding in right at the end there. I would assume right before the fireworks go off. I believe the drummer may sing that song, but I'm not positive. It does. Okay. Yeah. See, I know my '80s rock.
Vice Mayor.
Well, it's kind of hard to follow Sister Christian there, but I've seen at least 8 of the reasons that Chief is going to retire, and that's First Responders Day. So, and then how they reacted to Papaw there was it was neat to see that day. The city manager said that you had done it all, and so I appreciated that comment, but I'd like to add to that, and you've done it with integrity. So we really appreciate everything that you've done for the city and your long work. I was not 7, and, so when you got here, so I'll just leave it at that. But we've got somebody else up here that's going to retire too before we get back together, right? And so that's Gary, and Gary is he's getting ready to retire after a long career, and so I'd like to just wish Gary a happy retirement. But you're still going to be with us, so it's not like we're letting you're completely out of the picture there.
It's my honor.
And so I actually had someone this week from EMS, and so they had just nothing but just praise for you, Gary.
Thank you.
How you've ran the system and done it with with just really being personable and relating to everybody. So congratulations on your long service, which is like 36 years.
36.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. So congratulations to that. And then I'm sure by the time we get back, we'll probably see some kind of email from Alderman George as a reminder to wear our Fun Fest shirts when we get back. So, and that's tradition in itself right there. So, but we appreciate, Chris, I'm sure this past year's been like all 6 combined. And, but we do really appreciate everybody's hard work on the management team and your hard work as well. So we appreciate it. So thank you.
Well, I say thank you too, Chris, for hard work. I see the relief on your forehead every day now since we get this done. So, and thank you, staff, for staying with us, and the rest of the board here for your decorum and as how we conducted ourselves during this budget. We're very fortunate that we can discuss and disagree and still move forward. So the city is very fortunate to have dedicated people working. Chief, again, thank you for the work that you've done. And it doesn't go unnoticed that the confidence that people have in you when you can take a group of protesters and to convince them that they can move their protest to a different location and go without incident, that's to be commended. So thank you for the respect that you have throughout the city. And this meeting is adjourned.
Well, tell Fred I said.